I'm Monica Cornetti, and I'm here with Monica's Morning Musings. All right, my social media coordinator, Steve, asked me to start doing some videos, and so here I am. We decided on Morning Musings because I'm always studying in the morning. I spend time each morning reading something on instructional design or gamification or game-based learning or designing games or adult learning principles. I just am a lifelong learner, and I love to continue my studies, so I dedicate time every morning. Because of that, I've got a ton of morning musings, and so you're going to get to share in part of those. Let me start with what I'm reading right now. It's a book by Dr. Luke Hobson, and it's called What I Wish I Knew Before I Became an Instructional Designer. And I purchased a copy of this book for both myself and my intern because she's transitioning from being an elementary school teacher into becoming an instructional designer. And so I thought it would be great for her and I to study this together as she's preparing, interning with us and getting a portfolio built of solid programs that she's helping us to design. She's doing a fantastic job. And I thought this would be fun for us to study together. So I am as far as chapter 12 right now, and I was reading about the pedagogical model that they developed at MIT, where Dr. Hobson is an instructional designer. And it just resonated so much with me because his words in here was emphasized doing over consuming. And I had to pause for a minute. I'm like, doing over consuming, is that one of those word puzzles? And then I realized what he was trying to say was doing rather than consuming. And that's always been my model. You know, when I first got into this whole field of adult learning and adult education and designing programs and delivering and facilitating, I went to our local bookstore because I had no knowledge in it and I had been invited to speak and I fell flat on my face, and that's a whole long story. But at the time, I thought I was unfortunate because there was only one book on the shelf in our bookstore that had anything to do with adult learning. As I've learned over the years, I lucked out big time because I struck gold that day. I found the book by a gentleman named Mel Silberman, Silberman. He's no longer with us. He was talking about brain-based learning long before anyone else was talking about it. Never even used the word back then, but the book's called Active Training, Handbook of Techniques, Design, Case Examples, and Tips, and it's specifically for adult learning. It's published by Pfeiffer. Anyhow, luckily, he was the first person I encountered in this journey because right from the beginning, I learned that doing is always better than knowing, that our ratio of when we're delivering learning programs should be much more about the hands-on, critical thinking, application of any kind of learning that's been happening. The MIT model likes to follow about a 70% ratio, which I think is great. It's a 5-letter, I don't think we can really make it into an acronym. It's explore, practice, apply, share, and then assess. So I guess that would be EPASA would be how we'd make that into an acronym. Don't know if that works. But again, it's coming out to this ratio of about 70% of critical thinking and application, and not just information, quiz. Information, quiz. So my musing is, what are you doing to make sure that your learning programs are really an application? I love the example that he gave in here. When was the last time you had to make a decision about something that you got a drop-down menu of 5 choices you could make? Okay, where should we go on family vacation this year? Let's see, I've got a drop-down menu of only 5 choices. I got to make my choice between those 5. What's the best way for us to design this learning program? You've got 5 choices from a drop-down menu. Choose those. Which direction should I go within retirement right now with the stock market and investing? 5 choices. Choose one of those, go. Seldom does life present situations to us that we get a drop-down menu. So we want to make sure that our students are taking the information and getting a chance to apply it. So let's think through, as we're spending our day today doing any kind of design or facilitation, what is the ratio that we're using? How often are we passing the ball back? I hate sports analogies, but here you go. How often do I pass the ball back to you to give you a chance to think, reflect, interact with, dig deeper, explore, share it with a colleague or friend? How often are you passing that ball? Have a great day.